Okay, so what I've got here is we've got a MAS 4x4 on top. Basically with this one, it's got like a nice pattern and everything's rolled out okay. So with the MAS mat, what we're looking at, it's pretty smooth, it's good quality. However, my main issues with it are the edges. I got the edges, they're not quite stitched off as nicely as the rest of my mats. It's probably the worst. Some of them are already, they already lift up, they're frayed as soon as I got it. The other thing with the MAS mats, it's basically, when I got it, I opened this up and it just ripped. Like, it's flimsy, it's not good, it's a terrible, terrible bag. It's cheaper than all the other mats. Basically, the back of the mat's pretty similar to the rest of them. It's all your neoprene rubber, same sort of thing. It does feel a little bit thinner though, however. And my main problem with this particular mat is this edge here has a little bit of a crease in it. I can't get it out. I can't get any of the creases out of this particular mat ever. And one of the big problem spots is actually here. So this part here, I can't do anything about. I left books on it as soon as I got it. This is how I got it. It was all munched up like that. As soon as I got it, I saw that and I went, not great. Edges are a bit frayed. And I went, alright, cool. Put a stack of books this high, very heavy on it for about 4 days. No change. It's like impossible. Anything that's come from the factory with one of these mats, you cannot fix at all. So it's not great, but once again, if it's all you can get, the neoprene and the design, the colour's quite nice, it's alright. I've seen one of the other mats, it's pretty similar in terms of contrast and colour. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. So what we've got underneath that is we've got the Fatmat. This is the Alpine mat 4x4. Got a couple of creases and stuff in the mats underneath just from the way I've stored them recently. Very nice design, pretty common mat. You can see why a lot of people use it. Kind of cartoony, kind of realistic. You got some realistic textures. One thing you find with any mat is that a lot of them will repeat a lot of textures. Fat mats you can get in Australia kind of not as easily. If you can find some dealers will do free post. Some you can pay about $30 direct from Fatmat. $30 for one, maybe two mats is probably about what you expect. So otherwise it's about $30 post in Oz for these particular mats. I've seen a deep cut mat. Print's probably a little bit similar to the Gamemat mat at the bottom of this one. But once again, quite nice textures and things like that as well. And underneath the Alpine Fatmat, we've got the glass. Very nice kind of cartoony, super bright colour. It's quite good. A lot of people enjoy it. We tend to play a lot of War Machines on it. Just seems to be a good mat for that. The other thing I'll be doing is I'll be making an infinity board with it. This one's a little bit more used. Well, the Alpine one's only been used once, so some of the edging's starting to get a little beat up on this one. But seems okay. Like it seems to be holding something pretty consistently. The edges didn't arrive beat up, they've just gotten beat up. And I mean, any material, like whatever you print something on, it's going to take a hit after a while. And I mean, if you want to resell it, you probably sell it like less than half what you bought it for. But I mean, you can always just trade second-hand mats with someone, I guess, if you get sick of it. And the one thing about most of these mats is the neoprene backing when you take it to different spots, so this one gets travelled around a little bit more. They get really dirty on the back for that one there. Any white marks, white handprints, that sort of thing. Doesn't seem to affect it when you kind of roll them on top of each other or anything. None of it comes up, it just marks the rubber backing on the neoprene on that one, because then you've got cloth on top. Alright, so what I got here is the Gamemat EU mat. Really realistic textures, very nice. quite good. This one's a little bit more creased. I haven't actually used it yet. I will be taking it down into halves for Malifaux. So one end is a little bit greener, one end is a little bit more rocks and things like that. Edges seem quite good. Literally looks like the exact same stuff as Fatmat, just printed with a rocks up in the same bag, everything. Edges look pretty much the same, quality looks about the same with actual print, but this is what looks like a much higher resolution. Let's bring this down here. It gives you a look at, so this is kind of a little bit dented just from where I've stored it. I haven't stored it amazingly well, so it's a little bit dented. I'm not sure if this is going to wind up like a Fatmat or if it's going to wind up like the MAS mat. I'm thinking they're all going to be pretty similar, but it seems pretty decent in order to do it. So this one's the 6x4 Battlefield mat. You've got really nice sharp clear textures all the way through it, quite pleasing. If you want something a lot more realistic, I'd go with Gamemat. Obviously MAS is specifically doing stuff for Infinity at the moment. That's got its own kind of style, and your Fatmats, I would suggest anything kind of semi-cartoony, War Machine, Infinity, Warhammers, all that kind of stuff, would kind of work well for it. But if you're kind of all about realism, weathering, that sort of thing, I think this sort of table is really going to set it off compared to the others. So one thing Fatmat offers that's quite good is these tags on their bags. Gamemat EU, Fatmat and everything rock up with the exact same stuff. Exact same bags on that one there. They've got a nice little handle. But having these tags available that quickly reference what your mat is, see the pattern, can help you just go, oh, which one do I want to use? I'll use this one, rip it out. I guess if you're going around the clubs and stuff, no, I don't really do it, but if you're going around the clubs and stuff, you've got that option. I'll put your name and contact info on. Gamemat bags, exact same stuff, just no tags. So exact same bag. I'm pretty sure exact same manufacturer by the look at it. They just use a different kind of more realistic stock. This doesn't give you an idea. A little bit more cartoony, still quite a nice texture overall on this one. But your Gamemat stuff's even crazier. So a lot more detail, all that sort of thing.